What's good, guys? We back with another video. And today, I came across this video, watching the 60 days in video. And I was like, what got me was the fucking thumbnail. No cap, what got me was the thumbnail. And I was like, fuck it, let's watch it. The title is Top 10 Dangerous Inmates on Death Row. So, we're about to get it. Let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? Came across this 60 days in after watching those videos. So let's get into it. Why not?
How's it going, YouTube? I'm announcing, and welcome back to another most amazing top 10 video. Death Row is the home to prisoners who are waiting to be executed for the horrible crimes that they have committed. The inmates who are on death row all have something in common. They're some of the most disturbed and dangerous people in the world. So you know what? Here is the top 10 dangerous inmates on death row right now. Starting off with list, in at number 10 was Lisa Montgomery. Unlike the others on this list, Lisa has only committed one murder, but it is pretty disturbing and a sickening murder. So on a
she looks like a murderer. She looks like she gonna kill somebody. No cap.
But when they met face to face, Lisa strangled the pregnant woman. She cut her open and kidnapped the infant from her womb.
That bitch crazy in the head. She performed a C-section on this bitch and took the baby home. Who the fuck does that?
He lured several women from the chat room with his username, the Slave Mask. He is a convicted serial killer, con man, kidnapper, and forager who was found guilty in 2003 for 3 murders that he committed in Kansas. He was given the death sentence for 3 murders, but the police believed that he was involved with as many as 8 other murders. Up next, at number 8, Richard Farley. He is a stalker and a convicted mass murderer who killed 7 people and wounded 4 others. He spent 4 years aggressively stalking one of his co-workers, Laura Black, so she was forced to get a restraining order against him. So on the day of the hearing, to make the restraining order permanent, he loaded up his RV with 100 pounds of weaponry. He drove to his old workplace and started shooting people with his gun. He even tried to kill Laura Black, but she was able to escape into a parking lot after he shot her twice. However, 7 unlucky people died that day, and he was sentenced to death back in 1992. Number 7 brings us to Joseph Duncan III. He is a convicted murderer and sex offender who began committing his violent sexual assault on other children when they were only a teenager. When he was younger, he admitted to his therapist that he had raped 13 younger boys by the time he was 16 years old. I mean, is this real life right now? He was arrested and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, but when he was paroled, he killed at least 3 other children after he had sexually assaulted them. Once he was released again, which I have no idea why he was, he invaded a family home, killed the parents, kidnapped the children, he molested the children and filmed it all on camera. After killing these 4 children, he was arrested and sentenced to the death penalty. My question is, why are they still keeping him alive? George Emil comes in
they get a couple years. Slap on the wrist, probation,
including 7 children. So the 7 children were killed, and their mothers, and also 1 bystander. 5 of those children were his own kids.
How the fuck you kill your own kids?
His attorney tried to argue that he was mentally insane.
I would never.
But he was convicted of 12 counts of first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to death. He has actually avoided death twice because it was determined that at the time he was set to be executed, he was deemed incompetent. I don't understand this. He was convicted of the crime, and this is his punishment. Why does he need to be deemed competent to be killed? Why are there rules for someone who's on death row? You have to wait so long to kill.
That's a fact. People on death row be waiting. Sometimes decades.
Sexually assaulting and murdering at least 10 women in Florida back in 1984. During an 8-month period, he was averaging 1 murder every other week, and he would dump bodies and left them in strange positions, tied with ropes. He released his last victim after he raped her for a period of 26 hours.
How you sit there, kidnap somebody, and rape them for 20-some-odd hours?
Joe Long has 1 5-year sentence, 4 99-year sentence, 28
I feel like they be dead ass dragging it when they be giving somebody
have Charles. He was found guilty of multiple counts of kidnapping, rape, torture, and murder. He was convicted of 11 murders, and he would take his victims to a lake cabin where he built in a dungeon room. According to court records, Charles and his accomplice abducted their neighbors, killed the men and babies, but kept the women alive. They would rape and torture them before killing them or waiting until they died from their injuries. Thankfully, he is currently on death row at San prison. Djorka Zarnaf explodes into number 3. He was given the death penalty after he planted the bombs at the Boston Marathon. And this took place back in 2013. The bombs killed 3 people and injured approximately 280 others. He later told the FBI that he had intended to detonate a series of explosions in Times Square. So after the Boston Marathon happened, they were making their way to New York and they were gonna set off more bombs. He has spent the last 3 years of his life on death row at ADX Florence in Colorado. Number 2 takes us to Randy Stephen Kraft. He raped, tortured, and murdered at least 13 men between the ages of 13 to 35 years old in California. It is believed that he killed a total of 67 victims, but he was only convicted and charged with 16 murders. He would give his victims high levels of alcohol and tranquilizers, tie them up, torture them, and sexually abuse them before he would strangle them. There are other disturbing and gruesome details to his murders.
I feel like all these people are like sick in the head, like for real. Just sick in the head. They mentally fucked
State prison in California, one of the toughest prisons in the world. Finally, in a number 1 spot, we have a Rodney Alcala. He is a dangerous convicted rapist and serial killer who was sentenced to death in California back in 2010 for 5 murders that he committed in the 1970s. His exact victim count is unknown, but it is estimated that he raped and killed over 100 people. He used to toy with his victims by strangling them until they lost consciousness. He would wait until they wake up and then repeat this process many times before killing them. Despite receiving 3 separate death sentences, he is still alive and he has been waiting on death row for the past 8 years. Well, there you guys have it. What a freaking insane list.
But like I said, sometimes they be waiting decades. But yeah, until next time, guys, I'm out.